I mean, it's quite incredible. There's a comments board which members of the public are invited to post on by filling out little cards and pinning them to the comments board. So that's what I did. And obviously my comment is going to be like anti the Turner Prize. I thought a very good way of doing it would be by putting the website address of Stuckism, www.stuckism.com. So then people will be able to find out a lot more information than if I just put a simple message on a card. I did stuckism.com, you know it makes sense. After all, the Turner Prize is meant to be about challenge and debate, and we have received a letter from Sir Nicholas Sirota, director of Tate, to commend us for contributing to that. So, as far as I'm concerned, what I was doing on the board was not only legitimate, but actually praiseworthy. Well, when I went back, I noticed the card had disappeared mysteriously, so I wrote another card saying the same thing and pinned that up. And I only just walked away when the attendant launched into action and took it down. I went up to her and said, why have you taken the card down? And she said, it's people protesting outside, and we've been told to take the cards down, and if you want to find out about them, basically you can go outside where they're protesting, not here. So I said, that's just not right. I mean, why on earth are you taking my card down? Anyone's entitled to post here, I'm entitled to post here, blah, blah, blah. So she said she would get a sort of supervisor or manager, and I said, oh, don't bother. Anyway, I was still in the area a few minutes later when another lady came up who was the next level of command, and she had an entirely different explanation. It wasn't because it was to do with the people outside who were protesting, which was the first explanation, and what the attendant was telling me. Presumably she'd been told the same thing. I can't imagine she was doing it on her own initiative. The new explanation was that you weren't allowed to put links or bad language. And I presume that in my case it was the link that was a problem rather than the bad language of the word Stuckism, although one never knows. Well, that seems to be an entirely ridiculous thing. Why not put links? I mean, I can imagine if it's like on a prestigious website or something, it's just on a blooming notice board, it's going to be there for a few hours. How many people are going to see that? What is the problem with putting links if they are relevant? Surely the whole thing is about putting relevant material, contributing to the debate, and a website can be relevant material. Anyway, I then addressed the subject of the bad language, and I said, so when Kim Howells wrote it was cold mechanical bullshit, conceptual art was cold mechanical bullshit, would that be taken down? And she said yes it would. Well, I don't believe it was taken down, and if it is going to be taken down, why? Why is bullshit such an unacceptable word when there's far worse things, far worse language that has been in the Turner Prize? So you come to the situation, as my friend and colleague Edgeworth Johnston pointed out, where you can have something in the Turner Prize in terms of language, but you're not allowed to actually use the same language to comment on the thing that you've just seen and paid to see in the prize, which again seems like a ludicrous situation. So I don't know who made these rules up. The Turner Prize is meant to be about challenge and debate. These don't seem to be helpful or contributing to that debate. I mean, surely even if someone wants to come out with completely vulgar abuse, then that is a reaction, and the prize is about getting reactions. It's not about having no reaction, people ignoring it. So you should be glad if someone sort of raves and rants and swears. Why not? I mean, it's not a kiddies exhibition. There's no notices like, you know, for the to do with the fact that anything to do with under 18s or over 18s or anything like that. You know, there's been stuff in there that's been very adult in the past, pornography, etc. So one assumes it's actually aimed for adults rather than a family audience. And if there's anything different to that, I should make it clear. So I said to her, why isn't this, there's no notice about it? Why isn't there an announcement, something up about it? She said, well, it's not our policy to do that. So actually, they invite you to put comments up. Certain comments or ways of putting a comment will be unacceptable, but they're not going to tell you what ways are acceptable or unacceptable. So the whole thing seems completely ludicrous. And as I said to her, or actually I said to the empty air really as I was leaving, the whole thing is completely Kafkaesque. Well, I said, if a link is unacceptable, how about if I cross out www and .com, then it will just say Stuckism. So is that okay? And she said, oh yes, that's okay. So fine, so I crossed out www and .com, and it just says Stuckism. You know it makes sense. And now it's acceptable, so I could put that back up. Work that one out for yourself. It's crazy. There's a little afterthought here as to exactly when, how, who came up with this decision that the card or such a card should be removed. At what level? I don't believe it was the actual attendant on duty or even the supervisor acting unilaterally. At what stage in the machinations of the Tate was the order given that something of this nature should be removed? The person who bears ultimate responsibility, of course, is the director, Sir Nicholas Sirota. So, was it his idea, having encouraged us to take part in the debate, to then actually exclude something from the debate? And was it some lower level, somebody in charge of Tate Britain, the director Penelope Curtis? Or was it at a lower level than that? These are the people that bear responsibility. Do they know what their staff are doing, or are they actually ordering the staff to do this? It seems a very short-sighted policy if they are, but whatever it is, there's something that seems to be amiss in the whole proceeding. It's an interesting mystery.